Onko mä keskellä?
Ihan miten haluat. Vai haluatko olla sekana? Ihan. Eikö niin, että yhdeltä pitää lopettaa? Viitit sä tarkistaa, lähettää mulle? So, welcome everybody to this press point by the European Commission. We are presenting today a joint communication on an EU action plan on cable security. My name is Maria Blessar. I'm the head of the Commission representation in Finland, and I will be moderating this press point. So, we have here 3 college members present who will each give a short introduction, and after that we can take some questions. And we will start with Vice President Henna Virkkunen, who is responsible for tech sovereignty, security and democracy. Please.
I'm very pleased that we have adopted the joint communication together with the High Representative on EU Action Plan on cable security in this morning. We have witnessed that almost everything can be used as a weapon against us. Critical infrastructure and cybersecurity, they have been under attacks aiming to create distrust and confusion. We have observed election interference, disinformation campaigns and also weaponization of migrants. We will not accept these actions. Today we have taken decisive steps towards safeguarding our interconnected future in very close cooperation with our European Union member states. It is a great concern to see the number of incidents over recent months on our critical undersea infrastructure. These incidents have potential to disrupt vital services to our society, such as connectivity and electricity transmission, and also carry a significant security risk. This is why, with urgency in mind, that me and with my colleagues and High Representative Kaja Kallas have proposed an action plan to bolster the security and resilience of our submarine cables. EU has already done a lot and we have a legislation in place, but more actions are needed. Much of attention has recently been around the Baltic Sea area. This action plan is not only an action plan for the Baltic Sea area, it's only for a truly European level initiative in a coordinated EU way and in solidarity with the member states most affected. So a few words about the content of this action plan. As President von der Leyen emphasized earlier this month in Vilnius, our approach embodies a comprehensive resilience cycle. Prevent, detect, respond and repair and deter, marking the tangible steps of the approach promoted by former President Niinistö in his report on preparedness last year. I will elaborate on each dimension shortly. On prevent, our primary goal is to prevent incidents that could have devastating impacts. To that end, we will work towards a cable security toolbox based on a coordinated risk assessment. We will continue to invest and focus the money in the deployment of new cables with a view to increase our resilience and also benefit from the latest technological development through smart cables. The second line of action is to increase our collective capacity to detect incidents, ideally before they occur. Today, the insufficient cooperation at regional, national and European level can be turned into an opportunity. So we need to better have situational awareness together and also information sharing. Rapid and real-time detection is a key to the foundation to counter sabotage against submarine cables. Commission proposes to support Member States in the development and deployment of cable integrated surveillance mechanism. The objective is to support willing member states to link and fuse on trusted regional sea basin level data coming from several sources. As a matter of urgency, we will work to establish a dedicated regional hub in the Baltic Sea region as a test bed of the approach. And this is why I'm happy to present this cable security action plan, especially here in Helsinki today. We will also work to launch a dedicated dual surveillance drones program covering both air and underwater drones. Third, I propose to work with member states on a more coordinated and efficient crisis response in the case of cable incidents. As a part of our collective response, we need also to recover and repair faster from incidents. That's why, first, the creation of an EU cable vessel reserve to increase the EU's capacity to repair damaged cables. Second, we will also support the establishment of strategic reserves for the main cable spare parts. And third, we will enhance also our cooperation with NATO. Finally, the EU needs to enhance its deterrence posture. For this, the EU should be equipped with the necessary means to qualify, prove, attribute formally and sanction. We need to step up the actions against the shadow fleet and also clarify the law of the sea to allow our member states board vessels representing a security risk. Overall, this action plan is designed to be both very concrete and also operational, enabling immediate implementation in the support of our member states. We will now engage in dialogue with our member states to initiate these crucial steps forward. So thank you, and now I will pass the floor to my good colleague Andrius Kubilius, who will continue.
Well,
sorry, 1 second.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It's working.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot. As first of all, as Commissioner for Defence and Space, I would like to thank very much Vice President Henna Virkkunen, first of all, for organizing our visit of all our so-called cluster, and to thank her also for really very prudent and brave leadership of our cluster, which is devoted to defense, to security, to technologies, and also really for her personal leadership in bringing this action plan on cable security into reality. So that's really a very great achievement. And definitely we came here with a lot of interest because Finland, in all those areas, is a very powerful example for all the European Union member states to follow, both in preparedness, in development of defense capabilities, and also taking care how to fight against hybrid war, including against threats to our connectivity and strategic infrastructure. So maybe from my side I will bring just a little bit of information about what we are able to do and what we are planning to do using our best technologies. And I will start from space technologies, which European Union is leading in quite a broad spectrum of those technologies which are very useful exactly when we are talking about security of cables. I have in mind, first of all, so-called Copernicus system, the best world-leading Earth observation system, which is developed by European Union member states, and really it allows us to detect suspicious activity at sea. Copernicus maritime surveillance already today gives us situational awareness at sea. And Copernicus also supports EU external and security actions implemented by SATCEN, European Union Satellite Center, and also supports border surveillance implemented by Frontex. So those are the services which now are very critical and really for us, first of all, to detect and to be effective in prevention of those hybrid attacks against our critical infrastructure. We are also looking into development of new capabilities, which especially in this period of time are crucial. And here again, Finland has very good technological developments. For example, we're looking how in the nearest future to develop what is called as observation governmental service, which means intelligence data, frequent intelligence data, very precise data being provided on each spot which really we have the need to have intelligence data. And here, very well-known Finnish company ICEYE is leading, I would say, world-class leading company in technological developments. Also, we are looking into new innovations which are supported by European Defence Fund to better detect so-called dark ships. And here comes so-called space-based radio frequency detection, very new and innovative technologies which will allow us to improve our intelligence gathering. And the last point which I would like to also to stress, and which is related very much with what we are talking today about security of cables, of course, using of drones, both underwater and all other sorts of drones to track, trace, and monitor vessels of interest, to detect suspicious activities, and also in drones on the surface of the sea, drones in the air, which can be both of dual use, military use and civilian use. And such kind of surveillance possibilities are very crucial for us really to have cable security act bringing a real added value towards our security and security of our infrastructure. So that is in short what we have as European Union, what kind of capabilities we have developed and what kind of capabilities we need to develop in addition. And I'm absolutely sure that with the Cable Security Act, we are moving ahead in a good direction with good resources. And this is what we shall continue to do in order really to defend ourselves from all the possible hybrid attacks, including attacks on our connectivity cables.
Thank you very much. And next, Commissioner Magnus Brunner, who is responsible for internal affairs and migration.
Of course. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Henna, Andreas, thanks for having us here in Helsinki. And I wanted to start also by saying thank you to you, Henna, for showing us also the impressive things in Finland and what Finland is doing when it comes to security, but not only Finland itself as a state, but the citizens are doing to ensure not only their security, of course, yes, but the security of the European Union as a whole. We are all together within the European Union. And protecting the infrastructure is not just a matter for those member states which are directly connected or directly concerned, also like Finland and other member states bordering the Baltic Sea, for instance. But after all, this is a European Union infrastructure altogether, and it concerns, of course, all member states. And the cable incidents that we have witnessed in the Baltic Sea could happen in any other places as well throughout Europe. And this is actually the spirit and also the intention of the joint communication, whether that comes in the form of EU funding, for instance, under the Cyber Solidarity Act, or through investments in cable infrastructure to bolster resilience on the one hand, but security altogether. And our European Union, I think, is closer together than ever than it was in the last years. We see it in the volume of internal trade on the one hand, but we see it also on the commitment to solidarity with Ukraine in the face of Russia's aggression. And on these issues we can and we have already delivered and already acted also jointly. And now we must take this joint action we're talking about today when it comes to internal security on the one hand, but also preparedness and also defense. And what does that joint action mean in our view? I think here joint action means first and foremost that we have to see these areas as linked areas. They are all linked together and are linked with each other, as attacks on undersea cables show actually quite clearly. The line between also internal security and external security and external threats also is increasingly blurred, and this is also why this joint communication is complementary also to some other strategies like the internal security strategy we're going to present end of March. Secondly, joint action also means working together to identify threats on an early stage, very early. That is important by bringing also together a wide coalition of actors, the governments on the one side, the private sector, the citizens all together, and they must all buy into this process. In both, I think, the joint communication, but also the internal security strategy, I think we must place a lot of emphasis also on the external dimension of security and also on the cooperation altogether with our international partners. That is very crucial, I would say, for identifying, but also, of course, for countering hybrid threats, which evolve quite quickly and challenge also our existing approaches. Thirdly, what does joint action means? I think it means also preventing threats together by using our size as a European Union, our position as a union to make sure security is actually reflected in everything we do. And lastly, joint action, in my opinion, also means responding to the threats we're facing all together by enhancing the already very good cooperation we have between our law enforcement authorities. That is also a very important point in that respect. They need to have actually the capacity also to act quickly in the face of these hybrid threats, such as attacks on infrastructure that cross land or also maritime borders, of course. And that in turn means also improving the cooperation on intelligence data. That's sometimes forgotten. Data sharing is very important, and setting up also new communication systems, also when it comes to protecting the submarine cables. So we took a lot with us from Finland, from our trip to Finland, I would say. It was very impressive to see the level of preparedness and the level of security in Finland. I think this security first approach has to apply in all other member states as well. The security first mindset we should have in all member states, and we saw that, of course, in Finland. And when it comes to what we take back to Brussels from our trip to Finland, I think it's definitely, when it comes to the security first mindset and security and preparedness altogether, that we need more Finland in Europe.
Thank you very much, Vice President and Commissioners. So we can turn to questions now. I would kindly ask you to introduce yourselves and the media that you represent, and also to whom your question is addressed. Please. We'll give you the microphone.
Hello, I'm Anna Kauronen for Reuters News. I would like to ask you, as the EU Commission Vice President Virkkunen, news are out about a new cable breach off the coast of Gotland in Sweden, in Swedish waters, just today. How would you comment on this new development on behalf of the Commission? And secondly, in recent days there have been news from Italy, who is investigating some shadow fleet vessels being targeted with explosions in the Mediterranean. What kind of implications do you see from these hybrid attacks spreading to the southern seas and more widely across Europe? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. About the recent incident, we are informed on that, and we know that investigations are going on by the authorities, and we will get more information later on about this. But when it comes especially to Baltic Sea, we know that this sea region has been very much under different incidents during the last years, and that's why we are proposing from the Commission side that we establish a dedicated regional hub in the Baltic Sea region. It could be, and it should be like test bed now to our approach, really to be better prepared also, and to share also information between the authorities and member states, and also to use the new technologies like satellites, drones and cables as sensors. But we know that this is a threat for our security and for our environment, not only in the Baltic Sea area, but all over in the European Union. So this action plan is not only for Baltic Sea, it's for whole European Union. And that's why we have to also have actions towards this shadow fleet that poses risks for the environment and for security. We know that part of the shadow fleets, it's already on the sanctions list, but now we have to look also that we have to align the registers of the shadow fleets, because we know that from USA side they have put sanctions to some of these, and we have an own list, so we have to align the registers in this perspective, and also we have to be in contact for those states, like a flag states of these shadow fleets, also to better also be in touch with them, because we know that often these vessels are in so bad conditions that they shouldn't be in traffic at all. And then we still have work to do also when it comes to international maritime law. There we have to also look at how we can also have interpretation on that international freedom of navigation shouldn't be misused against us. So we have to also look these loopholes to make sure that we have secure and safe environment also in the maritime sector.
Thank you very much. Please.
Hello, my name is Lasse Lapintie from STT, and this question is for Henna Virkkunen. I'm seeing very few concrete details in the press release. Can you give us some more details about what kind of equipment and resources will be used for these to achieve these goals? And do you think this action plan could have prevented what happened near Sweden, or what the news story today?
We know that many of these incidents, they are still under investigation, and
the microphone is not on. The microphone is not on.
Soon
no,
it will be. Yeah, it just takes some time. Yeah. So many of these incidents, they are still under investigation, but the purpose of this action plan is really now very closely work with the member states in this topic, because protection of critical infrastructure is like a competence of the member states, and often the critical infrastructure is owned by private entities, and that's why very strong coordination is needed between different member states, between the private entities, and also together with European Union, because we can support member states here, and also with NATO, because we know that, for example, NATO is in the Baltic Sea. They have also operation here to protect critical infrastructure. The first part is now very much work with the risk assessment with the member states together, because all the member states, they have been doing their own risk assessments, but now really to have coordinated approach, especially when it comes to Baltic Sea. Also look our situational awareness and the data sharing, that we can better way also share the information between the member states, and really also to invest in new technologies like drones, satellites, sensors, also to be able to have better situational awareness. And also we are proposing here that we are supporting member states with the repairing capabilities, because we know that it's one bottleneck, that we don't have many vessels who are able to support in the repairing the cables. So we are also willing to support in this part. And of course we have to remember that the European Union is also willing to invest more than 500 million for the submarine cables, to also make sure that no one of the member states is dependent on one connection, that we always have also alternative if there is a damage, that we have plan B and plan C. So that's what the European Union is doing now, giving financial support but also operational support for the member states to act in coordinated manner in this very important task.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Yle, please.
Tuli Kukka, Defren, Yle, Finnish Broadcasting Company. I apologize for posing a question in Finnish for Henna Virkkunen. Vielä yksi tiedon muru tästä tämän päivän tapauksesta. Oletko tietoinen siitä, että onko tämä kyseinen kaapelirikko, onko se niin sanotusti vanha rikko toistunut nyt uudestaan vai onko kyse uudesta?
Tiedän, että viranomaiset parhaillaan tutkivat asiaa, että mistä tässä kaapelirikossa on kyse. Ja tietenkin on tärkeää saada aina lisätietoa, että voidaan tehdä sitten seuraavia jatkoaskelia. Mutta kyllä kaikki kaapelirikot osoittavat sen, että on erittäin tärkeää, että pystymme näitä ennaltaehkäisemään ja nopeasti havaitsemaan, jotta pystytään myös tarttumaan kiinni näihin syihin, mitkä ovat johtaneet rikkoihin.
Thank you very much. And then here at the front.
Thank you for letting me ask another question. How much money will be put into this new Commission initiative, and where is the money coming from? Thank you.
We have it's just a little bit slowly because I put it off. It's waking up slowly, I think, or maybe it's not waking up at all in this time. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't put it off at all. Yes, so we have in the Connecting Europe facility, we have 540 million to the cable connections, and a big part of it is mentioned to use in submarine cables. And then we have also Digital Europe program, where we can also support now member states, especially when it comes to this stress testing now, the infrastructure. Then we have 30 million. And then now we are looking at the vessel part also with the member states, that how or what kind of needs our member states are having in this sector. And there we are planning that we could combine our Connecting Europe facility and our cohesion funds to finance these cable vessels. So there we could find 300-400 million for these vessels. So we have main sources are now Connecting Europe facility, Digital Europe program, and then also our cohesion funds.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Yes, please.
Yes, hello again, from STT. At least in Finland, we've had some discussions about that the information about the locations of critical infrastructure has been too widely available in public. Are steps being taken that information regarding future projects will be kept more secret in the European Union?
We know that nowadays we are really living times when everything can be used as a weapons against us, and then we always have to also consider very carefully that what kind of information we are sharing, and that also comes, of course, to the cables and our critical infrastructure.
Okay, and next to Ede.
Now that you mentioned the times we are living, a question for everybody regarding military aid from EU to Ukraine, and also an aid package for EU countries. Can you confirm the information that, for instance, Berliner Zeitung has told that there's a preparation in EU for several 100 billion military aid package? And if not, what's the size of the package that's likely?
Well, first of all, we can see very clearly that EU member states in different gatherings now, first of all, initiated by President Macron, they were very clear stressing that EU assistance to Ukraine will be continued despite what is happening around in some other countries, and it will be strengthened even. And everybody agrees that we need to implement so-called formula peace through strength. This is our, vision how peace, which is very much needed for Ukraine and for the whole Europe, can be implemented. So for that to be implemented, really, strength of Ukraine should be increased. Now we are discussing in Commission among different commissioners and our services about all the possibilities which would allow us in a very urgent way to send very strong message to Ukrainians and to the world that we are standing together with Ukraine. I hope that good occasion for such a message will be exactly third anniversary of the war, which comes next Monday. Now, on the size, I will not elaborate too much. There are all the different, gossips and so on, hundreds and things like that. So let's wait till Monday. Really, we are going to very rational and very practical steps, not creating any kind of false expectations, and that is what we are ready to do. And not only with military support, but also with integration support, with reconstruction support. That is our clear vision, what we need to provide to Ukraine, and we need to send a very strong message, first of all, to Ukrainians. That's our point.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Brunner, would you like to add anything? No. Okay.
The European Union has been the biggest supporter of Ukraine. We have been supporting Ukraine by 135 billion, and we are willing to continue and strengthen this support. So it's very clearly stated, and now we are working, European Union, together with member states and also with NATO members to make sure that we can continue and strengthen the support for Ukraine that is needed.
Thank you. We have time for one last question, if there are any. Okay.
Thank you one more time. You mentioned drones and ships will be used to help secure the cables. And how many ships and how many drones, and who is going to provide them and when?
That is now the action plan, so it means that we will continue the discussions now together with member states, really to look the need. But the idea of the action plan is that it's mentioned to be action plan for whole European Union, but specific focus is now in the beginning in the Baltics region, because it can be like a test bed for us. And we will look now together with the member states how many vessels, for example, is needed, and also the drones part, and also how we will use smart cables in the new projects we will have. So this is this is not the end of this project. This is an action plan, and in which line we start to now strengthen our actions together with the member states.
Thank you very much, Vice President and Commissioners. I hereby close this press point. Thank you very much for everyone.
Thank you.